Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It is Professor Anime, and welcome back to, yet again, another Black Clover episode review. This review is going to be discussing episode 10 of Black Clover, so without further ado, let us jump into it. So, episode 10 of Black Clover. Alright, so I gotta say, personally, when it came down to this episode, I actually, semi-enjoyed it. I will not lie about that. Last episode, however, I didn't really particularly was fond of, but this episode was, it was better. It was better than last week's episode, in my personal opinion, at least. So, before anybody comments down saying, "Oh, why did you hate this episode, blah, 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 blah." Yeah, I liked it, okay? It was alright. So really, when it comes down to this episode, this was just an episode to showcase the fight between Heath, as well as Asta, Magna, and Noelle. And when it came down to the fight, I mean, it was alright. It was alright. It's not the best fight that I have seen in, like, any anime or what have you, but it was a nice fight. It was a little underwhelming, though, because probably just for the lack of information we got when it comes down to these villains and what their motivations are. I mean, we still don't know their motivations, at least when it comes to anime. Only as manga readers do know. Please, manga readers, don't spoil us in the comments. But when it comes down to the fight that played out, within this episode, and then Noelle actually using, a new spell, which actually happens to be a shield, that she, can control to some extent from what it looks like, it was good. It was good. The only information that we really got out of this, mini arc of sorts, I guess, if you will, is just that when it comes down to these villains, they were introduced. We don't really know who they are affiliated with. I mean, we do see by the end of this episode that apparently there is an actual leader behind this group, and, there is, it seems as though, Black Clover is trying to, tell its audience that there is a much bigger threat than just what was shown here, which is, obvious to be the case. I mean, Heath was just kind of like the building blocks for what Black Clover will be later down the line, and hopefully it'll be good. But like I said, I don't know where Black Clover is going to go from here, but hopefully in future episodes of Black Clover, like I said before, I really want to like this anime, and for me to actually start to begin to like this anime, it's going to have to do something different. It's been entertaining me to some extent, but there's a lot of problems that I do have with this series, but I'm not going to, go into all of that. I've already kind of, named all my irks, in the beginning episodes of Black Clover that I had. But anyways, regarding when it comes down to the affiliation that Heath had, the villain that was, in this episode that fought with Asta and what have you, when it comes down to the leader behind this group. Now, I don't know who it is. But regarding the voice, he sounds very familiar, like from an actor that I have, heard in various other shows, as well as possibly, a character that this voice actor has played in this show. Now, I'm like, okay, so here's the thing. When it comes down to the character that possibly could be the leader of this little group, it could be Yuno, but that would make no sense. And the reason why I say I think it's Yuno is because of the fact of just his voice sounds very recognizable, but that would make no sense because Yuno joined with another group, but then again, there's the affiliate. I mean, see, when it comes down to the affiliations regarding, the Black Clover verse, if you will, I mean, I'm an anime only, so obviously I don't have any prior knowledge to, the affiliations and what have you. I don't know what's gonna, be expected of Black Clover later down the line. I don't know what changes they have actually made to the overall story or even the changes that, were in this episode. But regarding how Black Clover, in this episode specifically, how it played out, it does, have a little bit of interest as to who exactly this character could be. And I doubt it's Yuno, but the reason why I want to say it is because of the fact that, his voice sounds identical to Yuno, but, I mean, I don't know. I really don't know. It would be kind of cool if it actually was Yuno, because what if later down the line you have Asta and Yuno, two friends who have been motivating each other, inspiring each other, and then to find out that, but then, like, that's the thing. What are Yuno's ulterior motives? See, this is what you have to think. So, like, I don't know. I don't know. It's most likely not Yuno. It's just, I have a small feeling it is, but I don't know. It would make no sense. See, I don't even know who it is. So, I don't know. But anyways, from this episode, the only thing that you really have to get out of this is just that, you know, this is just the end of the confrontation that Asta, Magna, and also Noelle fought out between Heath, and it turns out that, you know, there is a much larger threat that will appear possibly later in the Black Clover storyline later down the line. But it was quite interesting to actually see that, in fact, we did actually have deaths in this episode of Black Clover. It was actually very surprising. Apparently, the old man that Magna, you know, met up with, you know, a long time ago, who kind of like brought him up in a sense, you know, actually died in this episode, you know, from the whole attack. I personally thought he was going to wake up by the end of this, you know, battle, you know, once everything was said and done, but he never did. He actually did end up dying from this attack, which was quite surprising, you know, even though we only got, you know, only just a little snippets of him and his relationship with Magna. I mean, it was just, you know, kind of surprising. It was kind of surprising. It really was. And then, even when it comes down to the villains that we had who, you know, launched the whole attack, who were just looking for this magical stone, apparently, you know, they end up even committing suicide. They actually freeze themselves. Well, Heath, I guess, ends up freezing, you know, all three of them, you know, and then they shatter, you know, because they do not want to be interrogated by, you know, the Magic Knights whatsoever. So it just shows you how loyal these villains are to, you know, the individual that was shown at the end of this episode, who, you know, turns out to be, I guess, you know, the ringleader of sorts for, you know, whatever they are trying to plan with these magic stones. We don't know, you know, really much about their motives, why they want these stones, but, you know, we see it at the end of the episode in the bird's mouth, and Asta, Magma, and Noelle, you know, are looking at this bird that has a stone in its mouth, but yet, I guess they're unaware of the fact as to, you know, what the possible, you know, stone could be, but maybe since because of the fact that the bird is with them at the end of this episode, maybe it will show up later down the line. Like in the next episode, maybe they'll finally see, you know, the bird actually has a stone in its mouth. They'll look at it and try to uncover the mysteries revolving around this stone and, you know, try to pinpoint as to why exactly the group who attacked the village wanted this stone in the first. So yeah, that is pretty much, you know, what happened in this episode. Black Clover seems to be, you know, getting a little bit more interesting, you know, at least when it comes to, you know, the conclusion that we got at this, you know, end of the episode, but we'll see how exactly interesting this shonen can be later down the line. So when it comes down to this episode, I didn't really have too many problems with it, but I mean, we gotta acknowledge Asta's, you know, phrases in this episode of Black Clover. One line after another, Asta was just saying, not yet, not yet, not yet. Not, like, I legit want someone, if somebody can please do that, I will favorite your comment and even pin it to this video. Please, someone go back in the episode, rewatch it, and just count how many times Asta said, not yet, or something along those lines in this episode, because he said it a lot, and I mean, it was quite annoying. And one final thing that I will leave off in this video is that apparently Black Clover has actually got a game announcement. That is right. Over on the official YouTube channel for Bandai Namco Entertainment, they actually have an announcement for a Black Clover video game. It's probably going to be, you know, more so along the lines of kind of like, I guess, what Naruto and the Dragon Ball Xenoverse games are. Probably just a fighting game, and probably also, you know, kind of like what the new Boku no Hero games are going to be like. I mean, I don't really know if they're trying a different method with this game. There isn't really that much information that we have on the game whatsoever, but there's a trailer out, and if you wish to check out the trailer, I will leave a link down in the description down below in case you want to check out the small little snippet of a Black Clover game. So, yeah, if any of you are actually excited for that, then, yeah, check it out, I guess. So, yeah, with that said, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below on what you guys thought about this episode of Black Clover. Be sure to give this video a like if you enjoyed it, and hit that red subscribe button if you want to see more. And with that said, thank you very much for watching. I'll catch you all